Alright, and welcome back. This is Vaipo back with another game of League of Legends. Now we have a special game for you guys, and I do. This game is going to be a bit interesting because this is a ranked game on the release date of Kha'Zix, or whatever the pronunciation is. I don't even know what it is. Kha'Zix, and this is the release date of this champion, and I'm seeing him in ranked already. The first rank that I got into without first blood has this guy, and it's going to be a bit of an interesting game to see how exactly this works. Now, the way I see it, Kha'Zix has to be played as an AD kind of bruiser, but it does look like AP does work. There is a way to play him as AP. It's probably not that good, but you have to be very, very careful and know what you're doing. Now, we are going to actually look at first blood here from Shen actually picking that up. Would have been much better actually if what's his name picked it up. Oh god, what is his name? Renekton. That was horrible. So we do have also Blitzcrank going down here, two Maokai, two junglers actually picking up both those kills, and a bit unfortunate actually because you know, junglers picking up kills is not the greatest of ideas. But anyways, we have Nidalee versus Morgana in middle. Now Nidalee, while not being an exact you know, AP kind of carry champion, well, at least I don't consider her one, she does do pretty well in mid, at least until about level 11 or 12 from my experience anyways, even though they have nerfed her spear damage while reducing cooldown and mana cost, but damage is a bit nerfed, so I'm not quite sure how she's going to fare up against Morgana. Now Morgana, one of those champions that can easily avoid harassment from AP characters with that shield, obviously costing mana, but if she's like me, she plays with a bit of mana regen runes, and it does look like she might have a little bit of those because she does have a bit increased damage. Now we do have, I'm going to quickly go back here and see how exactly this kill happened. It does look like perhaps, oh, that was very, very sloppy there by Ashe. If she gets picked off here, that's going to be very, very unlucky. Well, unlucky, I'm not going to say unlucky, I'm just going to say that that was completely out of position, and of course Nunu wasn't there to help her. He was a bit too far away, and if it was up to me, that Blitzcrank would have pulled her from here and gotten her a lot earlier. They did have to waste that flash. But I'm going to have to actually keep an eye out more on the top, because I want to see how Kha'Zix does with both farm and ganking, because he does seem to be a pretty interesting champion. He doesn't have a lot of game mechanics, and he does seem to, from my actually point of view, he does seem to lack a bit of damage. While yes, his ult does give him quite a bit of utility in terms of stealth and the fact that it increases his movement speed, it doesn't give him increased damage. His ult is basically sneak up slash get away kind of skill. It doesn't give him any damage, which I found kind of interesting. He's one of the only champions where his ult doesn't heal or give him damage. Now movement speed is not exactly you know, a damage dealer. I mean, yeah, obviously it can help you finish off an enemy, but it doesn't give you damage, so definitely a strange ult. But we're gonna see how that goes on later. This patch goes on, because we're not quite sure at the moment. We don't have any info about exactly how he goes. I do believe that Riot didn't perfectly explain exactly how Kha'Zix works, because what I noticed is that I'm gonna actually quickly put him on follow. Or I do believe they're probably gonna be a bit passive down here, up there, so I'm gonna go up here or down here, and yeah, I am able to target him. So there we go. Evolved enlarged claws. So basically it does do more damage when the target is isolated. Both scaling and base damage are higher, and then there is one skill I was looking at that scales off to AP. I found also pretty interesting that, oh wow, look at that, another kill here going off with Kha'Zix actually picking that up. Kha'Zix did lose first blood, but he is on 1-1 right now, 27 minions to 32. I'm gonna quickly rearrange the champions, so we have mid versus mid, top versus top, bottom versus bottom, so you can compare them yourself when I'm not calling them out, being a usual noob. But anyways, Kha'Zix at 1.8 thousand gold, slightly ahead of Renekton, which is kind of interesting. Renekton didn't of course get that kill earlier, so he is going to be a little bit behind. as well as falling behind a little bit on those minion kills. So let's go back to Kha'Zix's skill. Now his ult doesn't do damage, so that's a big loss there. Ooh, Shen coming in here. Actually, Ashe not going to get picked off. He is probably going to slow down this, but it's just about enough to actually kill him. It does look like they're going to be able to. Ooh, maybe not. They do spot Nidalee with that ward, so they do have to back off. If not, they would have probably ended up losing at least Ashe or maybe Nunu. That ward is going to spot Maokai as well. There's not going to be any point. They do know that that ward did spot him. For those of you who don't know, if there is a ward in that bush and minions attack you, that's how you can tell if there is a ward in that bush. When minions can see you inside the bush. I don't think that was intended by Riot to let the minions attack you in the bush as well, but it is a pretty interesting mechanic that some people might not be aware of. So do be aware of that if minions are attacking you and you're in the bush. Of course, this is an exception for when you attack a minion from the bush, they will see you for a short duration. But if they randomly decide to attack you when you're in the bush, then that means that is warded. Now, or the enemy has some form of vision of you. So let's go back to Kha'Zix's skill. Now his leap increases leap's range and causes the kill and assist leap to reset cooldowns. Now I think this evolve is going to be probably the most important one, because leap is going to be ridiculously good for both catching up to people, and then if you get a kill or assist, you could actually just leap away. So basically this is a very nice skill for tower diving, as well as getting in and out of team fights. Is going to be pretty handy, especially if you're going to be able to jump into a team fight and then jump around all over the place, not only avoiding damage, but you could also be using it to get to people, or to even get out afterwards if you're getting low. So if you build him a bit tanky, you might be able to utilize that. Now we got Maokai coming in here, and he's not being spotted by this Renekton. And wow, oh never mind, that double dash actually does send Renekton back. He is going to ult here, so going to be causing Ziggs to go a bit low. Actually, Shen coming in here to do a bit of help. I do believe that Ziggs is, or Kha'Zix is going to want to go out now. He's getting pretty low. Shen could probably actually pick both of these guys up. Oh wow, Kha'Zix staying around. This is going to be very, very close. Oh my god, look at those health. Holy shit, that Kha'Zix got really lucky there, I do believe. Wow, that was ridiculously lucky. Now Shen should have probably focused Kha'Zix first, because Kha'Zix, of course, does more damage as Maokai is gone for full tank actually at the moment, as well as the fact that Maokai is not really that bursty of a champion unless he goes full AP. Now back to Kha'Zix again. I know I'm going to be focusing on him quite a lot in this game, because I do want to learn how he works. I'm sure everyone wants to know that. And whether this game is probably going to be released a bit later than the release date, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, most likely more, because my time schedule is very busy and I can only upload at certain times. So when I do upload, I upload videos for 3 or 4 days in advance. Now Void Spike fires exploding spikes. Now this skill seems to be doing a nice bit of damage, and if he's close, it also heals him, and this scales off AP. I think it's a bit of a weird scaling, or a weird skill. Oh, missed. I think it's a weird skill in general. I don't know why he actually ulted that. I don't believe they would have picked that up anyways. Maokai was a bit late, but yeah, I'm not sure why he ulted. I don't think they would have picked him off anyways. He could have just gotten away. But I think it's a bit weird that that heal scales off AP, because it's going to be pretty clear that Kha'Zix is going to be built as an AD carry, or AD bruiser kind of champion, maybe even a full tank, I don't know. He doesn't really have any stuns, so maybe not a oh my god, what am I saying? Doesn't have any stuns, so he's not going to be an AD carry of any sort. I actually lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, I was kind of looking at this and trying to follow at the same time. So yeah, definitely AP is kind of a weird thing for him to have. I don't think that he's going to have AP much, or at least maybe if you build him as a full tank, he might encourage a bit of AP in there for both the heal, because it does look like the heal is scaling at a roughly 60% AP ratio kind of thing. Oh, we do have Kha'Zix actually gonna drop here, because Shen is gonna come up here and taunt him and do a bit of damage. Now he did try to leap away there, but it was a little bit late. I don't know if that was latency issues, or he just wasn't aware that, or not used to rather, his leap being reset on each assist. Ooh, actually, he should have probably went a bit further there. I do believe he would have picked him off if he followed him a bit more before he actually done that slash thing on the ground. And yeah, I know I'm not familiar with every single name in this game, just the champions and what their skills do. So yeah, we're gonna have Shen coming in here at the top. Actually, he's gonna be getting a bit of health back. I'm not quite sure if there's any point in diving that Maokai. I do believe that it would be pointless because Maokai, of course, would root him under the tower and kill him. Honestly, I actually want to know what people's opinion on Kha'Zix is. I do believe that he is a little bit underpowered. I do believe his ult could use a bit of damage bonus, like on a hit or something like that, because it just seems like he's such a... That arrow's gonna miss anyways. It just seems like he's just lacking damage at the moment. And usually new champions are actually pretty OP. They always end up getting nerfed a little bit, and most of the time they get nerfed because Riot does under-exaggerate, sorry, their damage potential, and people always end up manipulating a champion really well. And is he spectating the same game as me? I just got a message off someone. No, never mind. Yeah, that does look like a nice bit of damage actually. Those missile things, but the only thing I don't see why did they scale off AD? I do believe that they should probably be an AP scaling skill, but of course maybe having more AP champions is not the best of ideas. Ooh, look at that Shen actually going down into the tower. I do believe that Nunu is oh, I expected him to go under the tower and actually just like kite him around the place, but guess not. Maybe that was for his best choice actually, because Quirky could have probably thrown in a missile or two with the mana he has. How much does missiles cost? Only 30 mana, so there you go. He could have thrown in about 3 missiles in there and probably picked off Nunu under the tower. So the teams are pretty even right now. There's only about 2.4 or 2.5 thousand gold difference in between them, and that's just based off farm as well as 2 kills in advance for purple team. There's no towers down yet, so this game is still greatly in anyone's favor. That makes no sense, does it? It's even for both teams. I guess that's the correct way to say it. Dragon still hasn't been killed, I believe, from the start of the game, unless I missed it, or maybe I don't know. I don't think that it has been killed yet. So we are going to be looking to be getting a dragon kill anytime soon, but both junglers are actually very tanky junglers. They're not the kind of jungler that can do a fair bit of damage and take down dragon by themselves at this level. Actually, not many junglers can. And actually, we do have Maokai here. Oh, 3 people coming in here. Nidalee, Maokai, and Shen. Gotta be following that Maokai, Nidalee, Renekton, and Shen. And Morgana gonna be coming in with that binding, saving Maokai's life. Well, actually, no, I do believe the Maokai would have gotten away. Of course, he does have those boots of mobility, which prevent anybody from engaging onto him if he doesn't want to, with a crazy amount of movement speed. Even Nidalee would probably not catch up to him. So, that was getting caught out a bit, getting a bit lucky actually. If he would have lost that Oracle, that would have been a very big blow for Maokai. I mean, he's gone fully kind of tanky support, and that means he really doesn't have that much items for the amount of actually gold that he has picked up so far. I mean, he has 114, and I'm gonna go back for that. I do miss a lot of kills, I'm sorry. I do tend to ramble on and forget about the map, and we're gonna quickly see what happened here. So Blitzcrank does look like he used his increased movement speed, picking off that Nunu, sorry. And yeah, they just literally blew him up. That was expected there. Nunu as well, when he's built full support, he's not really that tanky. So there's the first turret. The purple team does take that. They are three towers ahead, and that brings them to about 3.8 thousand gold difference, roughly like that, away from the blue team. So at the moment, the blue team with a slight advantage, but the way I see it, blue team might be in a bit of trouble later on because of... Oh wow, that was really poor. I do believe that he's gonna barely get away here. No, I don't believe that he's gonna get away. I think they're gonna just dive him. All Shen needs is just one hit. There we go. Unless he gets picked off here, and yeah, he does. That was very nice actually. Very good for Kha'Zix getting that kill onto Shen. Shen, of course, was fed. I'm not quite sure if that was a shutdown, but even if it wasn't, still very nice to get a kill after you get dived by 2 people. Now, of course, the tower did most of the damage, but um, whether or not the tower did damage, that still ends up being very positive. Actually, I didn't see Morgana dying there. I'm not quite sure who killed her. But Nidalee only on 001, that's not very good for Nidalee at this stage. She definitely wants to get a bit more feeding. Of course, she does have Morgana at 010, so Morgana's even less off than Nidalee. And that's going to start coming into effect now very soon, because Morgana doesn't rely on items as much as Nidalee does. I've played both Morgana and Nidalee quite a lot in the past. Nidalee I've mained for probably about half a year until the changes. I just didn't like those changes, so I changed to different champions. But Morgana I still play occasionally, and Morgana, even with that hourglass, she can probably get at least a kill or two in a team fight, and if not a kill or two, she can at least encourage a kill or two by her team members. Now Nidalee, she requires quite a lot of AP to do much damage. Her spear is one of those skills which scales nice enough, but it doesn't do as much damage as it used to. And looking at her AP now, she has 71 AP, and the scaling actually... go back, get out of cat form, come on. There we go. Does one shot a minion, and it deals up to 250% damage of 230 plus 46 minus magic resist. So doing a quick calculation there, that's say 250, then reduce that by about say 30%, and who knows, you have maybe about 150 damage at the moment. Not very much, but you know. So we do have Morgana actually getting a binding on it. I'm not quite sure. Ooh, that was very quick. That was a very well timed jump from Nidalee. Not quite sure if that was exactly what she meant, but she did get away in time. Perhaps she was CC'd a little bit and couldn't really do much there. But there's your difference right there. Nidalee does one spear and she has to get away. Nidalee is not one of those tanky AP carries that you see in Nidalee, usually like Morgana, like Cassiopeia. She just does a bit of burst, and if she gets into melee range, she becomes very vulnerable to damage. Now, while in melee range, she does of course do a ton of damage, and don't get me wrong, her cat form is ridiculously strong. But I do believe that it puts her in quite a lot of harm when she goes into melee range, because if she gets slowed, sometimes her cat form will help her, but or cougar form rather, and sometimes it just won't. It won't be enough to get away, for example, from Nunu. Nunu will catch a Nidalee and help his team kill her. For example, Morgana, her ult, as you saw there, she didn't move into her. That was actually Morgana's fault. She should have moved in towards Nidalee just to secure that. She was pretty safe. She should have moved in right up to her and followed her anywhere that she started walking towards, and that way that stun would have landed just like Morgana obviously planned. So we're going to be going back to a bit of jungling and laning, because everybody just went out of a team fight and we don't want to be engaging straight away. They want to be letting... Ooh, actually, never mind that. It does look like Maokai is going to probably get dropped here, losing that Oracle. That was a very good win for the purple team. Picking up that Oracle and feeding Corki even further. 601 with a Trinity Force ready, compared to an Ashe with 031, or sorry, 131. Definitely favoring Corki quite heavily. I'm going to quickly go to the gold tab. Comparing that, we have 7.8 thousand to 5.1, so that's a whole tier 3 item. Well, almost a full tier 3 item. Definitely a good advantage for Corki to have. And if he builds an Infinity Edge next, or a Bloodthirster, it's going to be even a bigger advantage. Oh, look at that, we do have a BF Source, definitely one of those items incoming next, as you know, is conventional for Corki. Did have a bit of action going on there at the top, and it does look like Shen is going to probably take out this tower. Morgana not going to be able to quite get here in time. Purple team actually picking up the first dragon actually at the moment. They did have a ward here, and I do believe that they probably were... No, that's a purple ward. I was just trying to look at the actual green thing there, and then I remembered the aura is what determines who owns the ward. But they did have a free dragon there. I do believe they placed that much earlier just to clear out any wards. So definitely worth that dragon every bit. So at the moment we have purple team almost 10,000 gold ahead. Actually, I would say 9,000. It's only a little bit above 9,000. So definitely doing really well. 9,000 gold at this stage is a considerable amount of gold. I mean, when it's 35,000 to 44,000, that's not very much. But when it's 25,000 to 35, that is a very nice bit of gold. Like right now, there's almost a 10,000 difference between them, and that is what, almost 50% of the blue team's total gold. So definitely a crazy amount of gold difference, and blue team is going to be in a bit of trouble now. Of course, Nidalee is that champion that's going to be falling off just a little bit, but 3 tanks, well rather 2 tanks, a supporting tank, and Corki is going to be what's going to be keeping up the purple team. Now, Corki is probably one of the highest damage AD carries in the game at the moment, just purely because of his ult. His ult does a crazy amount of damage, as well as a ridiculous amount of harass. I've actually said it to a lot of my friends as well, that I think that Corki's ult does still need a nerf. The fact that they increased how long it takes for his missiles to build up does not compensate for the fact that he can do so much damage once they're all built up. I mean, looking at his stacks right now, he has 6 built up at the moment, and I'm not quite sure what the maximum is. I think it's like 7 or 8. Yeah, 7 missiles at any given time. So that's 7 missiles multiplied by 190 plus 41 plus 9 minus magic resist. So it's basically like having half an ult every 1.2 seconds, and then you multiply that by 7, and if you land all of those, it's like having 2 to 3 ults from a normal AP carry or AD carry. Well, no, I would say AP carry because it's kind of a ranged nuke with magic damage. So the way I see it, Corki's ult is just a little bit overpowered. I do think that the damage, either the damage or the cooldown, needs to be greatly increased. 12 seconds on respawning a missile is, in my opinion, a little bit too much. I mean, a little bit too short. That, or of course the other alternative is to increase the mana cost. Something like every time he uses a missile, to increase the mana cost by, I don't know, maybe about 30% or something like that. So the second one would be like, I don't know, 45, and then it would be like 70, and then 95 or something like that. You know, so that he just cannot spam this stuff, because a bit later in the game Corki can just spam his ult, and I do believe that's a little bit excessive. So getting a bit passive here again, and we're going to quickly speed it up just to get into a bit of action. We do have a back and forth going on here. Nidalee doing a bit of farm, actually picking off most of those minions. Nidalee, of course, being very good at farming with that cat form, cougar form. I apologize. So we do have a ward here actually from purple team, and they're going to want to refresh that ward pretty soon. It is going to go out in a few seconds, and going to be very good position right now actually. Ooh, they are going to get spotted going up to towards that. Morgana does put up a black shield just in time. Probably going to get away here, and it's going to be a bit risky now. There's going to be not a very good position for purple team to be engaging. There is that whole bush here, as well as here and here, for the blue team to be hiding in, and this is going to be a bit risky for them to be engaging on. Of course, Blitzcrank could get a lucky pull and end up pulling all of them here, and I'm going to quickly toggle around in between vision just to be able to see who sees what. So the blue team just about starts to see the purple team now. They were hidden all the way here. They didn't have any wards. Oh, look at that. That was actually very interesting there. Did you just see how much slow that effect that has? I don't even know how that slows. Void spikes. Oh yeah, evolved spikes actually slow enemies. So yeah, there we go. That's another interesting one to be getting. So the way I see it, Taste Their Fear is not going to be picked as an evolution kind of thing. I think that Void Spike, Leap, and the ult are going to be picked. Even though I think the ult might not even get evolved, to be honest. I mean, the ult doesn't do much damage, and at the moment, the way I see it, he has enough utility and survival. What he needs is damage, which I think the first 3 skills will probably get involved, and the ult, well, at the moment, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people are going to be noobing about it, being morons about it, and evolve the ult automatically, because it's an ult, you know, you must make it better. But the way I see it, that ult is more like utility than, you know, absolutely necessary. I mean, 3 stealths, yeah, okay, you can stealth 3 times, but they last a second, and you don't really get to go that far with those stealths. And the way I see it, they're gonna just want to do more damage with him. So we do have Blitz actually going in here. He does take up a lot of that burst actually, with that shield keeping up. After that, they do blow up Blitzcrank eventually. Kazakh's actually getting a kill there as well, and Nidalee getting killed. Surprisingly, Nidalee does get that kill, considering she wasn't focused. Of course, when you do leave Nidalee alone and she can stay in melee range, it is a very dodgy combination. I mean, she can do a crazy amount of damage while being completely ignored, and her cooldowns are very, very short as well. I do believe her cooldown on Q is only like 5 or 6 seconds. Then her W is like 2 or 3 seconds, like 2.5 seconds for her jump, and her E as well is pretty low. So definitely going to be a lot of damage. Ooh, actually, because Kazakh's going in here, and he is going to slow that Nidalee, and I do believe they're probably going to end up picking her off here if they get any more slows. Unless she starts to leap away, they are going to be safe now. Unless Kazakh's has an ult, he doesn't. 25 seconds, Nidalee is safe. So definitely that fight actually probably favoring. I actually don't know, to be honest. I think that was a pretty even fight. There was nobody favored in that fight, and I'm gonna quickly speed it up just to get up a little bit ahead. There is a purple team dragon here, and they are about 11,000 gold ahead now. Well, no, 10.5 thousand gold. So they are pulling ahead a little bit every time, and they're going to be looking in a fairly dominant position if they can pull off a Baron, which they are pinging as well as the blue team. The blue team is also pinging it, and they're going to want to put up that Baron. And while they are spotted right now, I'm not quite sure how much that's going to do for the blue team. Oh, there's a message incoming for me. But what's going to happen now is there's going to be a bit of contest for the Baron. They're going to be trying to bait one of the teams is going to try to bait the other into going in there and getting caught just like this. See what I mean? Ashe did get picked off over a bush there, I believe, and that means that the purple team is going to be able to do Baron quite easily. I don't believe that the blue team would want to engage this right now. They are going to be very aware of what's going on. They're going to know that they're going to be doing a Baron, but I don't know. Oh, there we go. Maokai actually getting pulled as well. Maokai is going to get blown up in a moment, and then the purple team is going to be back to doing the Baron again. Definitely scary for the blue team right now. Blue team is in a lot of trouble. They're going to want to fall back, defend, prevent any towers from getting killed, or at least inhibitors. And preventing an inhibitor from going down is going to be very important. Ooh, look at that, Shen actually messing up his dash, and that's going to prevent him from diving away. Now, what's going to happen now is Kazakh's is probably going to get picked off. There we go, Cork picking that up, and at least they picked off Shen's Baron buff. And that's going to be a very, very nice thing for them to have. I mean, of course, they do still have 4 enemies with the Baron buff. They didn't quite get, who was it there? Was it Blitzcrank that was dropping low as well? But what happened was, Shen is their tank. He is going to be the one who's going to be taking the most damage, and he's going to want to have that health regen. But now that he got killed, he doesn't have that Baron buff, which means that the purple team just has increased damage, no increased tankiness. Nunu dropping very low, losing an Oracle with that, and it does look like Maokai is going to drop as well. We'll see. I'm not going to call this game yet. Anything can happen, and it does look though that the purple team is in a very, very dominant position right now. 6 turrets ahead. They are somewhere around 15 to 17,000 gold difference, and this game is starting to favor the purple team more and more. The blue team will want to push quite a lot. They actually do have a tower almost dropped here at the bottom, but I do believe that I should probably be into all view, and there we go. Corky is going down to clear that. Probably gonna try to intercept someone, maybe even. Not quite sure how you'd fare against Kazakhs. I still don't know how strong Kazakhs is one-on-one. I do believe that he's going to do pretty well, especially with that ult. That ult does look like a very, very useful 1 versus 1 skill. It's going to be somewhat similar to Akali's stealth, the Shroud, except for the fact that, of course, it increases your movement speed. Evolved, it increases your what's it called, defenses as well. And he lets you use it 3rd time, of course, so you can stealth away again. So let's see what he actually evolved. he evolved Claws, which is the first one. No wait. Yes, the first one. Evolved Rack, Spike Rack. Okay, that's not wrong. That's the cone, and then he evolved. Oh, he's not level 16 yet, is he? Oh, he is level 16. Why am I not seeing? Oh, active camouflage. Yeah, he used his ult as an evolvement as well. So there you go. That was an evolved ult. Now, what I think that is a better option is evolving Leap. But that's just my personal opinion. Of course, I haven't played Kha'Zix yet. I have just logged on, saw that there was a game with him. Decided to check if there was First Blood called. It wasn't called, so I just decided to watch it. So definitely want to see how exactly this rolls out towards the late game. We're about 33 minutes into the game. This is definitely going to be very dangerous for the blue team. Actually, wow, there is an ult from Ashe coming in here. It's going to be even more dangerous for the purple team right now. Everybody coming in. Morgana actually going in there, picking off one person, getting a stun on to Renekton, and he is going to drop. Actually, we do have a turnaround here. Actually, Renekton does have a Guardian Angel, so this is definitely going to be looking very, very bad, especially with Shen coming in here, tanking most of the damage. This is going to be horrible, horrible engage for. Well, actually, both engages were horrible. I mean, they did pick off who was it, Maokai in the very start, but what happened was that that Ashe arrow really screwed them over, stunning them all right under, or well, stunning one person and slowing the rest right under the tower. That did allow them to take a bit of extra damage. Renekton actually dropping quite low here. He's not very tanky at the moment. 203 armor though. That is going to be preventing a lot of that. Oh, look at that! Shen actually going down. Instead of focusing the squishy characters, they actually went off and picked off Shen. Not quite sure why that was. Maybe he was just in a better position to be killed. So they are going to lose this inhibitor right now. They're going to be 2 inhibitors down, and they still don't have any turrets killed. So this is going to be very, very dangerous for the blue team. They're going to want to get at least a turret or 2 just to be catching up on gold. But the thing is, what we're going to see now is the purple team are going to get to this stage where they can't really get any stronger, and the blue team is only going to be catching up and getting stronger. So we do have Corki actually getting a bit greedy here, trying to go 1 versus what is this, 4. 3 plus 1 went back. So look at that, Kha'Zix actually going to be taking a lot of damage here. I do believe that he's probably going to get away here. Ooh, doing a lot of damage onto Lidley. Wow, look at that damage. That is ridiculous. That is a crazy amount of damage. Okay, maybe he is not going to be a little bit underpowered. Now, actually what I forgot to mention, or forgot to notice myself, is every time he stealths, he also gets to use his Unseen Threat. Now, look at the damage of Unseen Threat. 220 plus 60% AP scaling, and slows by 35% for 2 seconds. Now, take into account if you evolve your ult, and you can use this 3 times. I believe that the first 3 skills are going to be the evolve skill for AD champions, AD Kha'Zix players. And when somebody's going to play him as AP, I do believe they're going to use the ult. The ult is going to be one of their most significant damage boosters. And I actually apologize, I did make a big mistake on that. Actually, I didn't remember that every time they don't see him, his passive gets active. And that is going to be a very, very, very good passive for him to have, especially in the late game with ult evolved and a lot of AP. So you can just imagine 600 AP is going to give you a bonus of 400 damage onto this skill. So 600 total damage. It's like a freaking ult every time you use it. Going to be very, very high damage for him, and this is going to be a very, very interesting kind of meta game for him. We'll see how exactly people play him, whether they're going to play him as AD with the first 3 skills involved, or they're going to play him with AP with the ult involved. Possibly the ult evolved instead of the leap. So we almost have an ace going down here. We do have a 1 for 4 trade, actually definitely favoring the purple team. And as I said earlier, that is purely because the purple team is so tanky. They are going to be taking out these 2 turrets now. I don't think Nunu alone can contest them, and I do believe that's going to be the end of this match. So thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to be it for this game. So as usual, this is Vaipo. Like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. If you're new here, then welcome, and that's it. I'm out. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna end it now because I'm talking without an end.